हे एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द चैनल। तो आज है सीए इंटर क्वेश्चन सीरीज का डे 1 और आज जो हम टॉपिक डिस्कस करने वाले हैं वो है ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन। स्टडी मटेरियल में ये चैप्टर 6 है और इसका एसे नंबर है 230। तो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। Question number 1 is, what do you mean by audit documentation? Also explain the nature and purpose of audit documentation. तो इस क्वेश्चन में हमसे ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का मीनिंग, नेचर और पर्पस पूछा हुआ है। तो इसका आंसर होगा एज पर एसे 230 ऑन ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन। Audit documentation refers to the record of audit procedures performed, relevant audit evidence obtained, and conclusions the auditor reached. और ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन को हम वर्किंग पेपर्स या वर्क पेपर्स से भी समटाइम्स डिनोट करते हैं। नेचर ऑफ ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन। ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन प्रोवाइड्स evidence of the auditor's basis for a conclusion about the achievement of the overall objectives of the auditor and evidence that the audit was planned and performed in accordance with essays and applicable legal and regulatory requirements. Now, the following are the purpose of audit documentation: assisting the engagement team to plan and perform the audit, assisting the members of the engagement team to direct and supervise the audit work and to discharge their review responsibilities, enabling the engagement team to be accountable for its work, retaining a record of matters of continuing significance to future audits, enabling the conduct of quality control reviews and inspection in accordance with SQC1, enable the conduct of external inspection in accordance with applicable legal, regulatory or other requirements. Now, the second question is, discuss with reference to essay 230 factors affecting form, contents and extent of audit documentation. In this, form, content and extent of audit documentation. Working papers should record the audit plan, nature, timing and extent of the auditing procedures performed and the conclusions drawn from the audit evidence obtained. The form, content and extent of working papers depend on factors such as size and complexity, nature of the audit procedures, risk of material misstatements, audit evidence obtained, nature and extent of exceptions identified, the need to document a conclusion or the basis for a conclusion not readily determinable from the documentation of the work performed or audit evidence obtained, and the audit methodology and tools used. Next question is, CAR comes to know some very critical information with regards to the business cycle of an entity for which he has issued the audit report, which become known to him as an auditor after the date of the auditor's report, but which existed at the date and which, if known at that date, might have caused the financial statements to be amended or the auditor to modify the opinion in the auditor's report. He wants to perform additional audit procedures to satisfy himself as an auditor what he shall document on the matters arising after the date of auditor's report. So, as per essay 230 audit documentation, if in exceptional circumstances the auditor performs new or additional audit procedures or draw new conclusion after the date of auditor's report, the auditor shall document first, the circumstances encountered. Second, the new or additional audit procedures performed, audit evidence obtained and conclusion reached, and their effect on the auditor's report. And third, when and by whom the resulting changes to audit documentation were made and reviewed. Question number 4 is, TRS and Associates Chartered Accountants, having completed the audit of Genuine Leathers Limited, has started the assembling of the final audit file. TRS and Associates has established policies and procedures for the timely completion of the assembly of audit files. Explain the various aspects related to the final audit file discussed in essay 230, giving specific reference to SQC1 wherever required. So, the auditor TRS and Associates Chartered Accountants shall assemble the audit documentation in an audit file and complete the administrative process of assembling the audit file on a timely basis after the date of auditor's report. SQC1 Quality control for firms that perform audits and review of historical financial information and other assurance and related services requires firms to establish policies and procedures for the timely completion of the assembly of audit files, and in this appropriate time limit within which to complete the assembly of the audit file is ordinarily not more than 60 days after the date of the auditor's report. The completion of the assembly of the final audit file after the date of the auditor's report is an administrative process that does not involve the performance of new audit procedures or the drawing of new conclusions. Changes may, however, be made to the audit documentation during the final assembly process if they are administrative in nature. Such changes include deleting or discarding superseded documentation, sorting, collating, or cross-referencing working papers, signing off on completion checklists relating to file assembly process, documenting audit evidence that the auditor has obtained, discussed, and agreed with the relevant members of the engagement team before the date of the auditor's report. After the assembly of the final audit file has been completed, the auditor shall not delete or discard audit documentation of any nature before the end of its retention period, and the retention period as per the SQC1 is no shorter than 7 years from the date of auditor's report, or if later, the date of the group auditor's report. Now the last question is, the working papers of the branch auditor are also the property of the principal auditor and the management of the company, so they have right to access them. State the relevant essay and comment. So in this, as per SA 230 audit documentation, working papers are the property of the auditor. He may at his discretion make available portions or extracts from his working papers to his client. The auditor should adopt reasonable procedures for custody and confidentiality of his working papers. An auditor is not required to provide the management, client, or other auditors access to his working papers. Main auditor of the company does not have right of access to the working papers of the branch auditor. In case of a company, the main auditor has to consider the report of the branch auditor and has a right to seek clarification and to visit the branch, but cannot ask for the copy of working papers, and therefore the branch auditor is under no compulsion to give photocopies of his working paper to the principal auditor. From above, it is clear that working papers of the branch auditor are his property only, and neither the principal auditor nor the management has right to access that. Therefore, the statement given in the question is incorrect. That's all for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful and liked the video. So do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. And don't forget to share this video with all your CA Inter friends, and make sure you practice more and more questions on theory subjects. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions or suggestions about future videos, then do let me know in the comments below. Till then, bye. See you in the next video. और हाँ, ये वीडियो अपने CA Inter फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर करना ना भूलें. Thanks for watching.